Subscribe and download over 1 million code snippet including this tutorial from codegive.com, link in the description below. Title, Handling org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException, unable to parse Doctype HTML in Selenium WebDriver. Introduction. Selenium WebDriver is a powerful tool for automating web applications, but you may encounter challenges when dealing with complex web pages that include Doctype HTML declarations. One common issue is the org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException, which occurs when the WebDriver encounters difficulties parsing HTML content. This tutorial will guide you on how to handle this exception and provide code examples to demonstrate the solution. Problem overview. The org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException is thrown when the WebDriver encounters issues while parsing JSON content. This exception may arise when working with HTML content that includes a doctype declaration. The WebDriver tries to interpret the HTML as JSON, leading to parsing errors. Solution. To address the org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException issue, we need to configure the WebDriver to disable the automatic processing of JSON content. This can be achieved by setting a specific option when initializing the WebDriver. Code example, Java with Selenium WebDriver. Let's consider a Java example using the Selenium WebDriver to demonstrate how to handle the org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException. Explanation. By using these configurations, you can effectively handle the org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException when working with web pages that include Doctype HTML declarations. ChatGPT. Title, Handling org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException, unable to parse Doctype HTML in Selenium WebDriver. Introduction. When working with Selenium WebDriver for browser automation, you may encounter situations where the WebDriver throws a org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException with the message unable to parse Doctype HTML. This issue usually arises when the WebDriver attempts to interact with an HTML document that includes a doctype declaration, and the JSON parser used internally by Selenium encounters difficulties parsing the HTML content. This tutorial aims to explain the problem and provide a solution with code examples. Understanding the issue. Selenium WebDriver uses the JSON exception when it encounters problems parsing JSON content. However, when dealing with HTML documents, especially those containing doctype declarations, the default JSON parser may face challenges parsing the HTML content correctly. Solution. To address the issue of unable to parse doctype HTML, you can switch to a different parser that is more suitable for parsing HTML content. One popular choice is JSoup, a Java library for working with real-world HTML. Below, we'll demonstrate how to integrate JSoup with Selenium WebDriver to handle HTML content that includes a doctype declaration. Step-by-step tutorial. Add JSoup dependency. Start by adding the JSoup dependency to your project. If you are using Maven, add the following dependency to your pom.xml. If you are using a different build tool, make sure to include the appropriate JSoup library. Replace WebDriver initialization. Instead of using the traditional WebDriver initialization, use JSoup to parse the HTML content. Here's an example in Java. Make sure to replace the Chrome driver path with the correct path for your system. Execute the code. Run the modified code, and you should be able to handle HTML content with doctype declarations without encountering the org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException. Conclusion. By integrating JSON with Selenium WebDriver, you can overcome the issue of unable to parse doctype HTML and successfully work with HTML documents containing doctype declarations in your automation scripts. This approach provides a robust solution for parsing and interacting with real-world HTML content in a Selenium environment. ChatGPT. Certainly. The error org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException, unable to parse doctype HTML, typically occurs when Selenium tries to parse HTML content as JSON due to a mismatch in the expected data format. This can happen when the WebDriver tries to interact with a web page or element, expecting JSON data but receives HTML instead, leading to a parsing error. Here's an informative tutorial on understanding this issue and handling it within Selenium. The org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException occurs when Selenium's WebDriver attempts to parse HTML content as JSON. This error usually arises due to an expectation mismatch between the data formats. Here's an example demonstrating how to handle this error in Java with Selenium WebDriver. The org.openqa.selenium.json.JsonException, unable to parse doctype HTML error can be managed by handling it gracefully within your Selenium test automation framework. Understanding its causes and implementing appropriate strategies can help in mitigating and resolving this issue effectively. Remember, handling this error might involve adjusting your automation scripts to anticipate and handle scenarios where HTML content is received instead of expected JSON data. ChatGPT.